Now, within Pakistan itself, as the party began to participate in politics, it began to discover political action. So it began to discover the importance of organization in order to be able to bring the masses to the streets. It began to discover the importance of controlling campuses. For instance, Maududi, Jamaat-e-Islami, gradually took over control of student unions across Pakistan in the 1970s, beating out leftist groups in elections. So they learned how to control campuses, how to control students. And gradually they became more of a political activist organization than an intellectual one. But Pakistan's politics never required a party to have to go underground. I mean, Jamaat leaders went to prison for a year, 2 years. They were treated well. They were never tortured. They came out, and they went about their business. The party was shut down, was reopened. Courts voted against it and then voted for it. But there was never a need, as you had in Egypt, for instance, for a party that needs to go underground and then fester and come back as a militant force. In fact, militancy and extremism in Pakistan were not the consequence of internal pressures, were really the consequences of foreign policy in the region. You know, they were the consequences of Saudi foreign policy and the Afghan war. That's really what pushed Pakistani fundamentalism towards extremism, not the internal politics of Pakistan.
But before we talk about this external intervention and the whole impact that foreign policies, say the Saudis and the U.S., have, I would like for you to make clear to us what exactly this particular Pakistani party and other Islamic parties want. Is it that they want to make everybody virtuous by returning to the roots of the religion, or does the religion lead to conclusions about equity and social welfare, and therefore through the party they seek to change the policies of the government?
Well, there is a combination here. First of all, you have to understand that fundamentalists claim to speak for Islam, but they are a very particular interpretation of Islam. Just like any Hindu would not subscribe to what RSS says Hinduism is, or an average Christian would not give Pat Robertson or Jerry Falwell the authority to define Christianity. The same is true of Islamic fundamentalism. In other words, Maududi was being the Jerry Falwell or the Pat Robertson of Islam. He decided what Islam is, who is a good Muslim. He tried to propagate that view, and it's within the organization. And obviously the aim of any such group in any religious tradition is to propagate its own view. And this view is based on certain presuppositions. Every religion believes that, you know, pious individuals provide a pious society that may lead or may not lead to a pious government. Fundamentalists believe that you have to have a pious government first, which then would forcibly make society religious, which then would forcibly make the individual religious. In other words, it's salvation whether you like it or not. It would be dished down by the government. And this is very much was the basis of his view. And Maududi sort of articulated this, put it out there, and propagated it. But like any ideology, it has a life cycle.